Hello everyone, it's me Sanjay Vasu back again for another video. This time I'm going to be doing it on mathematics paper for stage 9 2022 Cambridge Lower Secondary Progression Test. We're not allowed to use a calculator. Let's start. Question 1. Prisms made from 4 identical cubes. Take to show the number of planes of symmetry the prism has. Planes of symmetry is something like lines of symmetry but for 3 shapes. Over here, the plane of symmetry is in the middle, over there, which cuts it into two L-shaped portions. Are there any more planes of symmetry? Yes, there's one more, which is horizontal, like this. So that it cuts into same shape, but this length is divided into two. So 2. That's the answer. Question 2. A bag contains pencils of 4 different colors. Here are some of the probabilities of picking a pencil of each color. The red, yellow, and blue ones are given. Green is not given. A. Find the probability of picking a pencil that is red or yellow. We just add the probabilities of red and yellow. That will be 0.35 plus 0.25, which is 0.6. That's the answer. B. Complete the table. We need to find for green. So that's equal to 1 minus everything here. And that means this is 0.6. Add 0.1, there is 0.7. So 1 minus 0.7. And that will be 0.3. That's the answer. Question 3. Solve 12 by x is equal to 3. That means 12 is equal to 3x. And x is equal to 12 by 3, which is equal to 4. That's the answer. Question 4. Use a straight edge and compasses only to construct an equilateral triangle ABC. The side AB has been drawn over here for you. Do not rub out your construction arcs. So first, what's a straight edge? A straight edge is something which is like a ruler, but it does not have any measurements over here. It's just a thin rod. It's just a thin piece of wood or metal. Because we use a straight edge and not a ruler, there's no ruler given, that means we don't need to do any measurements. That means use a different method from normal to construct the equilateral triangle. First, we place the compass point at A and then measure the length AB on the compass. Next, we keep that length on A, and then that same length of AB, we draw an arc. Keep the compass point on A at the same length as AB, and then we draw an arc on the right of this line here. You can draw it on the left also, it does not matter, but either way, it has to be without changing the length of the compass. Now we can do the same thing, but we put the compass needle at point B and we draw another arc like that. The intersection point between the arcs is point C, and now we simply connect the lines AC, BC using the straight edge. I know this is actually not an equilateral triangle when you look at it, but then I've just shown you the steps to do it and not exactly with the measurements or with compass and straight edge. Anyway, that's the answer. I'll just mark that the sides are equal like this, and if you want to also, you can mark that these angles are 60 degrees. It's another way to check that this is an equilateral triangle, because in an equilateral triangle all 3 angles are the same 60 degrees. That's the answer. Question 5. Here are some pairs of events. Take to show if each pair of events is independent or not. Pick a disk at a box at random and then replace it, and then pick another disk from the same box at random. They are independent because these two do not depend on each other for their result. If you pick a first disk, it doesn't mean you're going to pick the same disk in the second one. Pick a disk from a box at random and do not replace it. And then pick another disk from the same box at random. These are not independent because one disk is not replaced. So we know that in the other one, that disk is not going to be picked after not replacing it. So whichever one we take in the first one, we cannot take in the second. And that means second one, what we get, depends on the result of the first one. Pick a disk from a box at random and do not replace it. And roll a dice. Over here, we're not choosing the same thing for this. This one, we're picking a disk at random. This one, we're rolling a dice. It doesn't matter if you replace or not because they're not related to each other, they're independent. It's just that if they are two different things, they're independent. Question 6. The diagram is a triangle ABC drawn on the grid. This triangle is enlarged by scale factor of 2 from center of enlargement 0, 0, which is the origin. Find the coordinates of the new vertex of C. So, if we take this distance from 0, 0 to the point C, which is 2, 3, and because scale factor 2, we multiply it by 2, the same distance. Go up 3 times again, and then go right 2 times to come to point 4, 6. That'll be the new point C. That's the answer. Question 7. A circle has radius of 3 centimeters. Take to show the area of the circle correct in nearest centimeter squared. So that'll be pi into 3 squared, which is equal to 9 pi. It's approximately 9 into 3.14, which is approximately equal to 28.26. And that's approximately 28 centimeters squared. That's the answer. Question 8. Find the value of 4 minus 3x by x plus 8 when x is equal to 2. You can just substitute it. 4 minus 3 into 2 by 2 plus 8, which is equal to 4 minus 6 by 2 plus 8, which is equal to negative 2 by 2 plus 8 minus 1 plus 8, 7. That's the answer. Question 9. A rectangle has an area of 8 centimeters squared. The sides of the rectangle are enlarged by a scale factor of 3. Find the area of the enlarged rectangle. Because area is measured in centimeters squared with power 2, that means if we enlarge the sides of the rectangle by scale factor 3, we need to enlarge the area by that value 3 squared. 3 to the power 2 multiplied by the area, which is 3 squared into 8, 9 into 8, 72 centimeters squared. That's the answer. Question 10. Work out 1 minus 3 by 5 divided by 1 minus 5 by 9. Give your answer in simplest form. So 1 minus 3 by 5 is 2 by 5. And we divide it by 1 minus 5 by 9, 4 by 9. That's multiply by the inverse, 9 by 4. Now we can cancel out here. This will be 9 by 10. That's the answer. Question 11. This distance time graph represents Jamila's journey from home. Stage 1. She travels at a constant speed of 50 kilometers an hour for 1 hour. Stage 2. She stops for 1 hour. A. Describe fully the next 2 stages of Jamila's journey. So the first 2 stages described are these 2 line segments here. The third line segment is this one, which is traveling 25 kilometers in 30 minutes or half an hour. So that'll be 25 kilometers per half hour. Multiply both by 2, 50 kilometers per hour. And that for 30 minutes. So she travels at a constant speed of 50 kilometers an hour for 30 minutes. And now for stage 4, we see this one. She travels this much, which is 12.5 kilometers in half an hour, 30 minutes. So you multiply this by 2 on both sides. We get 25 kilometers per hour. So for 30 minutes, she travels at a constant speed of 25 kilometers an hour for 30 minutes. That's the answer. B. At 3 p.m., Javelina travels home at a constant speed of 50 kilometers an hour without stopping. Complete the graph to show her journey home. So 50 kilometers an hour means that in 1 hour she will travel this 50 kilometers. In 1 hour distance, like this, 50 kilometers traveled. And the graph can be drawn like this, and we can continue extending it just like that. That's the answer. Question 12. Here are some shapes on the grid. Write the letter A to F for each of the shapes in the correct part of the carrot diagram. Shape A has been done for you. Shape A is congruent to shape X. And also similar, because if it's congruent, it must be similar to shape X. Now shape B. It is not congruent, so it comes under one of these two over here, because shape B is much larger than shape X. But is it similar to shape X? Let's see the lengths. This length is 3, this length is 2. This length is 6, so multiply by 3. This full length is 9, so multiply it by 3 as well over here. Because 3 into 3, 9. 2 into 3, 6. This is an enlargement of scale factor 3 of X. That's why it's similar to shape X. It's not congruent, but it's similar. Now for shape C, it's not the same shape. You see, this thing has been pulled one more length, one more square. So this is neither similar nor congruent. Not similar, not congruent is over here. Now for D, D is literally just a reflection of X. If we reflect it back, it becomes the exact same shape as X. So if we reflected it X, that means it's just a reflection. Congruence is there for shape D and shape X. We can write this D over here. Shape E, let's see, it's not congruent because they are not the same size. Now for similarity, this is 5 length, this is 3 length. We have to multiply by 5 by 3. This length is 2 units and this length is 4 units. We have to multiply this thing by 2. But the multiplications are not the same, that's why they're not similar. So E also comes under this category. Now for F, so first thing we realize about F is it's much bigger than X, so it can't be congruent, so it's somewhere over here. It's not congruent to shape X, but what is it? So we just reflect it to find out if it's similar or not. If we reflect it, for example, let's look something like this. This length is 6. The corresponding length here is 3. Multiplies by 2, we get 6. Now this length is 2. This length is 4 units. Multiply 2 into 2, we get 4. You multiply by the same things to get the numbers in length here for shape F. It doesn't matter if it's reflected or not, but if you have the same scale factor of multiplication to get it, That means it's similar. So shape F comes over here. That's the answer. Question 13. Write a number in the box to make the statement correct. The square root of 71 is dash 0.426. This is not a perfect square, but we actually can find out by estimating using the nearest perfect squares. The nearest one which is lower than 71 is 64. The square root of that is 8. So that means the answer is 8.426. Question 14. A. A scientist writes the number 760 million in standard form. Draw a ring around the correct answer. The answer is 7.6 into 10 to the power 8. Because when you take the decimal point, move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times,
then it becomes 7.6.
That's why there's a power with 8. B. The scientist measures the width of a human hair as 0.000046 meters. Write this number in standard form. So if we move this decimal place 5 times right, you'll get 4.6 meters. So that means it'll be 4.6 into 10 to the power of minus 5. That's the answer. Question 15. Mike runs 4.5 laps of a field. Total distance run is 3.78 kilometers. Find the distance of each lap. 3.78 divided by 4.5. And then if you did it correctly, you'll get the answer as 0.84 kilometers. That's the answer. Question 16. Carlos says all fractions with an odd denominator are equivalent to recurring decimals. For example, 1/3 equals 0.3 dot, which means 0.33333333333. Goes on like that. Find an example to show Carlos is wrong. 1 by 5 is the next fraction, right? With odd denominator. It's equal to 0.2. Just 0.2, which is not recurring. That's the answer. 1 by 5. Question 17. The function y equals x minus 3 the whole square can be represented by this function machine. Input and then subtract 3 and then square and then output. A. Find the output if the input is negative 1. Minus 1 minus 3 square. Minus 4 squared 16. That's the answer. B. Find the two inputs that give an output of 9. So y is equal to x minus 3 the whole square. Input is x. That means x minus 3 the whole square equals 9. And now if we take something and square it, we get 9. That's equal to 3 or minus 3. So which two numbers do we substitute to get 3 minus 3? So to get 3, we get 6 minus 3 is equal to 3, right? So x equals 6. Or to get minus 3, 0 minus 3 is equal to negative 3, right? So x can also be 0. That's the answer. 6 or 0. Question 18a. Solve 2x minus 9 less than 6x plus 3. So we bring the plus 3 to the other side and 2x to the other side. Minus 3 minus 9 minus 12 less than 6x minus 2x 4x. That means x is greater than minus 3. That's the answer. B. Show your solution on the number line. So greater than does not have an equal to sign, so it's a circle with a hole. And now we can draw a line for greater than, which means it'll go towards the right side. And now an arrow. That's the answer. Question 19. Work out 4 2 by 5 minus 2 2 by 3 plus 1 by 3. That'll be equal to, let's do this first. Negative 2 2 by 3 plus 1 by 3 is equal to 4 2 by 5 minus 2 1 by 3. Because this is a negative, we just subtract these and then change the sign. And now we convert. First we can subtract the whole number part. So 2 2 by 5 minus 1 by 3. Now we convert to 6 by 15 minus 5 by 15, which is equal to 1 by 15. That's the answer. Question 20. The table shows information about the wingspans of 50 butterflies. So these are the wingspans and these are the frequencies. Draw a frequency polygon to show this information.
Okay, so first of all, to draw the frequency polygon, we need to know the midpoints of all of these groups. So in the first group, 4.0 and 4.4, we find the average. So let's just put a column for a midpoint. We can find the average of these two values, the lower bound and upper bound, to find the midpoint, which is what we need to draw the frequency polygon. So it'll be 4.0 plus 4.4 divided by 2. That'll be 4.2 if we did it correctly. The next few are 4.6, 5.0, 5.4, and 5.8 if you added the two values here and then divide that answer by 2. Now we can draw the frequency polygon using the frequency y-axis over here and using the midpoints which we found to plot the x-axis. So for 4.2, which is the midpoint for the first group, frequency is 5. 4.2 is there, frequency 5, so we plot a point over here. Next is 4.6 and 12. So that'll be 4.6 and the 12 will be up here. So that's the one. Next is 5.0 and 23. So 5 and then we go all the way up. 23 is over here. Next is 5.4 and 8. So 5.4 in the middle of 5.2 and 5.6. And 8 is just there. And then we have 5.8 and 2. So we have 5.8 in the middle of 5.6 and 6. And 2 is over there. Now we just connect the dots, just like this, using straight lines to form the frequency polygon. This is the correct answer. Let's go to question 21.
Question 21. Shape A and shape B are drawn on the grid. Shape A is mapped on shape B by a combination of two transformations. First one is the reflection on the line y equals x. Describe fully the second transformation.
So first transformation is the reflection in y equals x. So first I'll draw that line y equals x. It's like this. So this line is the line y equals x. This line actually passes through the origin as well over here. So the first one is reflection in the line y equals x. So we need to deflect it, and once we do deflect it, the shape comes like this. So this is the reflection of shape A in the line. Okay, so now we've done the reflection. Now we need to move this over here to get the second transformation. And moving means translating the object. So the transformation is a translation. And now we need to find the vector in a column vector with x and y, like that. So let's take two corresponding points, these two in this case. So let's see the distance. In the x, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So minus 4 in the x value. And now for y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So because going downwards, it's minus 9 in the y. So the vector is minus 4, minus 9. That's the answer.
Question 22. The diagram shows triangle ABC. Calculate the size of the angle marked X. Now first, we can see that there's a triangle, so the angles in the triangle add up to 180 degrees. So we need to find this angle, angle BAC. Angle BAC we can find by saying that in these two angles add up to 180 degrees.
So why are these angles actually adding up to 180 degrees? Because these are allied angles, and because these are parallel lines, these two will be allied. And that's why when we add them up, the answer should become 180 degrees.
So 180 minus 115 is equal to angle BAC, which is 65 degrees over here. So now angle X is equal to 180 minus 65 minus 60, which is equal to 180 minus 125, 55 degrees. That's the answer. Question 23. The line segment joining AB to CD has a midpoint of 3.5, minus 2. Suggest possible coordinates for AB and CD. So what we can do, we take 2 points which have a mean of 3.5, 2 points which have a mean of negative 2. So A plus C by 2 is equal to 3.5. That means A can be equal to, I'm not giving actually equal to, there are many values possible, many combinations of values, but I'll give you an example. A is equal to 3 and C is equal to 4. When we add them up, divide by 2 is equal to 7 by 2. It's equal to 3.5. If you take 2 and 5 or 1 and 6, it's all right. Anything which adds up to 7. A plus C should be equal to 7. Now for B plus D by 2, it's equal to minus 2. So that means I'll give another 2 examples. B equals minus 3, D equals minus 1. When we add them up, divide by 2, minus 4 by 2, it's equal to minus 2, which is what we need. So anything which adds up to minus 4 can be the 2 points. So we can just write A comma B is 3 comma minus 3 and C comma D is 4 comma minus 1. That's the answer. Question 24. Simplify 4p minus 12p cubed by 4p. So we can simplify this to be 4p into 1 minus 3q and divide by 4p. Now you can cancel this out, so it's 1 minus 3q. That's the answer. Question 25. The nth term of a sequence S, 2n plus 5. Nth term of sequence T is 3n minus 6. A, show that 91 is a term in sequence S. So 2n plus 5 is 91. 2n equals 91 minus 5, which is equal to 86. And now n is equal to 86 by 2, which is equal to 43, which is an integer. Because 43 is an integer, that's why 91 is actually a term in sequence S, which is 2n plus 5. So this is proved. That's the answer. B, show that 91 is not a term in sequence T. 3n minus 6 is equal to 91. 3n is equal to 97 because 91 plus 6. N is equal to 97 by 3, which is equal to 32 and 1/3, which is not an integer. Which is not an integer. And if it's not an integer, it's not in the sequence. That's the answer. C, find the value of the term that is in both sequences as in the same position in each sequence. That means it has to be the same nth term. So 2n plus 5 equals 3n minus 6. That means n is equal to 11. When you bring minus 6 to the other side, plus 6. 3n minus 2n, so 11, that's equal to n. And now for 2n plus 5, we substitute 11. 2 into 11 plus 5, which is equal to 22 plus 5, 27. Now for 3n minus 6, it's equal to 3 into 11 minus 6, which is equal to also 27. 33 minus 6. They both are the same thing, so the answer is 27. Question 26. Mia asked the boys and girls in her class how many siblings they have. She draws this chart with results. Tick to show if the boys or girls generally have more siblings. Boys or girls. Explain how you know. Actually, we can say that it's the boys. Because more number of boys than girls have larger numbers of siblings. Like the boys only have more number of siblings in 2, 3, and 4. In 4 or more, actually only boys are there, not the girls. So probably boys have more siblings, right? Now take to show if the range of the number of siblings is bigger for the boys or the girls. This one, the answer is also the boys. Because we see boys has 4 or more, girls does not. Boys and girls both have 0 siblings. So boys, the larger number is going to be greater. For girls, it's going to be 3 only. For boys, it'll be somewhere 4 or even more than that. So the larger number of siblings is there for the boys. Some boys have more siblings than all the girls. Over here, let's say that these people only have 4, cut out the or more. 4 minus 0, because 0 is the lowest, is equal to 4. That's for the boys. Now for the girls, it'll be 3 minus 0, because there's no girls bar over here for 4 siblings. So it'll only be 3 minus 0, which is equal to 3. 4 is greater than 3, right? So the range is greater for the boys. That's also another reason. That's the answer. Question 27. Solve the simultaneous equations here. So let's take this as equation 1, equation 2. We can multiply equation 2 by 2 to get 4x plus 8y equals 26. Why are we doing this? Because now the x values have the same coefficients. So 1 minus this new equation, which you can call 3. So that's equal to 4x plus 5y equals 17. 4x plus 8y equals 26. Now when we subtract this, these two cancel out. Minus 3y is equal to minus 9. Y equals 3. We got y equals 3 already. Now we need to find x. So let's substitute this into equation 2. 2x plus 4 into 3 equals 13. 2x plus 12 equals 13. 2x is equal to 13 minus 12, which is 1. X equals half. And now if we substitute this value in here, 4 into half is equal to 2, plus 5y, 5 into 3, which is equal to 15. And now 2 plus 15 is equal to 17, which is correct. So when you substitute into that equation as well, that also works. That's why we can check if that's the correct answer, and it is. With that, I come to the end of my paper. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family, and comment on how you think this video was. With that, I come to the end of my video. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye.